Greetings, schools, and welcome back to another episode. Today we welcome a new addition to the series, the pilot episode of Tales from the Darkside, a horror anthology series that first aired on CBS. The show was created by horror visionary George A. Romero, and the show has been called the Twilight Zone of the 80s. Comparing something to the Twilight Zone leaves big shoes to fill. Tell me what you think in the comments section. And before we start, if you have a moment, please go check out my art shop, Spooky Creepy Art. If you have an eBay or an Etsy, please favorite my page, it'd mean a lot to me. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram for the latest updates. Links to all will be in the description. Thank you. Tonight we cover an episode titled Trick or Treat, starring Emmy and Tony Award winner Bernard Hughes. We follow his character Gideon Hackles, the town miser, during his favorite time of year, Halloween. We are introduced to the man while he talks to his accountants. We learn that Mr. Hackles is the richest man in the valley, and that he lends money to nearly every inhabitant in town. For Mr. Hackles, collecting money is his passion, and he hoards every bit of profit he can get. Even the accountant who asks for another cup of coffee is charged for it.
Another cup of coffee, I shall have to charge you 4 cents.
4 cents?
My cost plus a 20% profit. I never overcharge. I never cheat. But I expect to collect every penny that's due me.
Suddenly, Gideon hears a noise.
This month's statement. We've already prepared an invoice.
What's that?
What's what?
That. Did you hear it? Did you feel it? You must feel it. There. Coldness. The sudden coldness in the room.
What is it, Miss Angle? What is it? In the name
Ah,
of...
the lights! The lights! No! No! It's coming closer!
Gideon soon busts out in a horrid cackle. He was playing a trick on the men. It's Halloween, Mr. Hackles' favorite holiday. The next morning, a farmer who recently moved to the valley comes to Mr. Hackles' store. He tells the old shopkeeper that his son would like to be excused from trick-or-treating at his house tonight. Mr. Hackles insists that the tradition mustn't be broken. He explains that he hides all the IOUs in his house, and if a child finds the papers, all of their family's debt will be forgotten. Seeing as Mr. Hackles has the deed to the farmer's land, it would be foolish to miss out on that opportunity. Yet the dad farmer doesn't want his son to go through the trauma of Mr. Hackles' spook house. Another man walks in behind them. He tells Mr. Hackles that his son is going to find the IOUs this year, and then charges a costume for the kid to the family's account, unable to pay cash. So that evening, Mr. Hackles sets up his house. He puts the papers in a secret spot when he hears a child at the front door. Mr. Hackles sits in the chair where he could open the front door, operate his spooky ghoulish dummies, and watch the children wander the house. The first little girl to enter doesn't make it very long before getting scared to near death. She leaves. The next child is the son of the man at the store who is sure that his son would find the papers tonight. His father has been training with him to toughen him up as they desperately need the debt to go away. The boy gives the haunted house everything he can muster, and the boy does a pretty good job of exploring some obvious places that the papers might be. But sadly, the boy gets scared out of the house just before reaching up to find the papers.
There's no such thing.
Backwards. People in this valley have it all backwards.
Mr. Hackles moves the bear dummy back into place and heads back up to his spot to observe. The clock starts winding uncontrollably. Something isn't right here. Soon he looks out the viewfinder and sees an ill-favored witch. He goes down to the door to investigate.
Hey, you.
Trick or treat.
He finds a legit ghastly witch that flies on her broom above him. She laughs like an absolute maniac. The witch frightens the man and takes his
No. No. Money.
Soon ghouls, mummies, and the witch continue to antagonize the man. His money shoots out of the safe and into the air. He can't grab it all in time. Mr. Hackles steps into a red-lit room.
You're getting warmer. You're getting warmer. Warmer, getting warmer. Much warmer. You're getting hot. You're getting hotter. You're getting hot. Gideon, much hotter.
He meets the devil and some agonized demon creatures as the door slowly closes behind him. We then see our young friend, the son of the newest farmer, who wasn't supposed to go out tonight. He goes to the front door and is greeted by the witch, IOUs, and a ton of Mr. Hackles' worldly possessions. He won't be needing them where he is going. As the boy walks home, we see Gideon Hackles' grave. And that's it, folks. I haven't watched the entire series yet, but I love the first episode of Tales from the Darkside. It's going to be hard to find any other episodes to outdo this one for me. Witches, devils, mummies, perhaps even a goblin creature or two all in one episode is all too good for me. Mr. Hackles spent his days collecting money, but he lost sight of reality and what matters most: community. All of the wealth he accumulated did him no good in hell. If you have any episode recommendations, please leave them in the comments section. I'd love to continue covering this series if I find another episode that we all like. Please like, comment, and subscribe to tremendously help out this channel. And until next week, stay spooky.